Conversations that should have worked. The words are not the talk. Why normal conversations fail. By the Mercer Journal. We know the moment. A conversation goes sideways, the room gets colder by degrees, and almost immediately one thought arrives. But I said it clearly. If the words themselves don't determine what a conversation becomes, what does? Most people know in theory that communication is complicated. But when a conversation starts to go wrong, most of us fall back into a much simpler reflex. A thought leaves one mind, travels through words, and should arrive intact in another. That model works well enough for radio signals, legal definitions, and instructions. It often fails for meaning between people. The words are not the talk. The sentence is visible. The conversation is what two people build around it. The transmission reflex. Under pressure, most people fall back into a simple assumption. Clear words should produce a clear conversation. That is why people say things like, "I was perfectly clear," or "That's not what I said." The assumption underneath both is the same. The meaning should have survived. The wording was precise. But human conversation is not the transfer of sealed meaning from one mind to another. People are not fax machines. They are interpreting engines. Meaning is not merely sent, it is built. Conversation is not the movement of words from one mouth to another. It is the construction of meaning between two people. This is not because words do not matter. They do. They are the visible rail. They are simply not sufficient on their own. Same line, different room. A simple scene. One person asks, "Did you call your mother?" The sentence is plain. The talk it becomes may not be. One person means, "I'm just checking because you mentioned it earlier." The other hears, "You forgot again," or "I'm disappointed," or "I'm having to manage what you should already be doing." Same line, different room. Two people hear the same sentence and find themselves in different rooms of meaning. The words are shared, the talk is not. What changes the room is everything already active around the sentence. Sometimes it is the immediate context, the hour, the fatigue, the day already had, the bills on the counter, the text that came in 10 minutes earlier, the fact that dinner is burning. Sometimes it is the relational context, the last argument still echoing, the old resentment that was never fully named, the tone memory from 3 conversations ago, the role one person feels trapped in. No sentence enters an empty room. In some settings, people work hard to empty the room through precision, protocol, and explicit wording. In ordinary life, the room is rarely empty for long. What actually moves? When two people speak, at least 2 layers are moving. The first is the content layer, what was said, the visible sentence. The second is the relationship layer, what the sentence is understood to be doing. A sentence can function as information, pressure, accusation, reassurance, dismissal, or repair without changing a single word. A Slack message lands at 4:55 on a Friday. Can you take a look at this? From a trusted mentor, it feels collaborative. A second set of eyes, help me think this through. From a boss who has been hovering all week, it lands as mistrust. The sentence stays the same, its use changes. The problem may not be lexical, it may be functional. People keep polishing the sentence when the break is happening at another layer. The words are the narrow rail, the talk is everything balancing on it. What we answer. People rarely respond only to the sentence in front of them. More often, they respond to what their history, expectation, or present emotional state predicts the sentence means. I answer what I fear instead of what you meant. Sometimes what answers is fear. Sometimes it is habit. Sometimes it is an old script the conversation has followed before. A husband hears a simple question as criticism because the last 3 evenings ended in conflict. A colleague hears a request for input as micromanagement because the project has already become tense. A spouse hears silence as withdrawal because silence has meant withdrawal before. This is not irrational, it is ordinary listening under pressure. The mind is not passively receiving meaning, it is actively constructing it in real time, sometimes accurately, sometimes defensively, sometimes by finishing the sentence before it has fully arrived. Notice the room. We cannot repair the talk by polishing the words alone. We repair it by noticing the room. Both people remember the same words. Neither remembers the same talk. What exactly is the mind doing while it listens? This is the second podcast of an ongoing series examining the mechanics of ordinary conversations that go bad. If you'd like to receive new installments each week, feel free to subscribe, and thanks for listening.